Hello, everybody, and welcome to our third of the Vagabond Workshop Series presentations. This is Tailor Made Hero. My name is Dane Forgione. I am the director and founder of Vagabond Repertory Theater Company. And, well, I am very excited about this one. I want to thank our spectacular cast for the hard work they put in and for the somewhat unorthodox way that we recorded this, but the end product still was very amazing. Yes, our wonderful cast of Aidan Paquette, Shannon Ship, Andy Al Lewis, Jason Amherst, Andrew Rosenblum, Tiana Johnson, Mark Thomas Gledhill, Cosette Zinshine, and Alessandra Gluff. Stay tuned because in September, our fourth and final of the workshop series will be presented. That is the Baker Street Irregulars, but that's in September. For now, this is Tailor Made Hero. Let us get on with the show. Lights up on a bare stage as some upbeat instrumental music plays, and we hear opening narration playing overhead. As the narration goes on, slowly, the set comes to life, almost as if, piece by piece, the kingdom being described within it is being created as the narration is done. Once upon a time, there was an ordinary kingdom in an ordinary land far, far away. Now, in this ordinary kingdom, in this ordinary land, there was an ordinary cottage. And within this ordinary cottage, there lived an ordinary tailor. Well, more specifically, an ordinary tailor's son named Elliot. Lights up on the interior of the cottage, where Elliot, a boy of about 13, sits by a workbench on a stool. He is busy sewing a pair of pants together as the lights come up on him. He glances to the audience and waves hello.
Hi there.
Indeed, Elliot seemed like just an ordinary young boy. But on this particular ordinary day, unbeknownst to young Elliot, a series of events was about to unfold that would turn his ordinary life into something quite unordinary.
Say, mister, you're doing a great job. But do you suppose you know words other than the word ordinary? Goodness, you're getting really repetitive.
It's called dramatic storytelling. The use of the same word can make things interesting.
Never mind. I need to get these pants sewn back up, or my dad will be sore as heck at me. Good grief. Why, Mr. Rovio thought he could torment one of the local stray dogs and get away without getting his butt bit. I'll never know.
Elliot trails off into silence as he goes back to sewing. Soon, we hear the sound of a fly buzzing around Elliot. Elliot frowns and swats at the fly. More buzzing. And Elliot swats a second time. Even more buzzing. Elliot swats a third time.
Oh, for goodness sake, stupid fly.
Elliot swats again and we hear a dazed buzzing. The fly was hit, but not fatally. Soon we hear angry buzzing, almost like Morse code. Seconds later, more buzzing noises are heard, multiplying and growing louder. Elliot slowly looks up, then does a double take.
What the? A second fly? No, wait, a third one! A fourth, fifth, sixth one! Gosh, I must have made that first fly mad. He called for his buddies. A seventh one! Oh, for heaven's sake. Mr. Fly, did I really tick you off that much?
The flies buzz around Elliot's head. He lets out a yelp, and the flies chase him about the area. Elliot swats at them several times as he is chased.
Ow! Hey, stop! Cut it out! I was trying to work. I'm warning you, nasty flies. If you don't buzz off out the window, I need to swat you out of the air. I don't want to have to do it, but if you keep tormenting me, I will.
Suddenly, a shoe comes sailing on, and it beams Elliot in the head. The flies obviously carried it on and flung it at him.
Ow! Okay, that's it. I warned you. Ha!
Elliot swats a mighty swat with his hand, and he slams down onto the workstation he is at. The buzzing ceases. Slowly, carefully, Elliot lifts up his hand and inspects the after effects.
Did I get 'em? At least a few of them? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? I got all 7 in just one blow? Wow. I've never killed 7 in one blow before. Awesome.
Elliot stands, proudly and smugly, and struts around the stage a bit.
Huh. How about that, eh? 7 in one blow. 7 in one blow. I can't possibly just ignore something like this. It's not every day that you squish multiple flies in one blow. I gotta make something to celebrate this. It might never, ever happen again.
A beat. Elliot thinks for a minute, then snaps his fingers and smiles. He rushes off stage, and we hear the sounds of a hammer chiseling something and mechanical whirring. Several seconds go by, and soon Elliot struts onto the stage. He is now wearing a belt buckle, a large one at that, with the words 7 in one blow written on it.
Check this out. A belt buckle. Yes. Not only am I a tailor, I make belt buckles too. Nice, huh? Gosh. As nice as all of you seem, I want to show off this to more people. Oh, I know. I'll head outside and show it off proudly at that.
Blackout. Set change. We are now outside of the college as Elliot struts out onto the stage, making sure his belt buckle is front and center. He smiles and waves to a few passers-by, making sure to motion to the belt buckle as he does. Soon, he passes by a man and a woman who are walking side by side next to each other.
Hello, folks.
Hello, sweetie.
Excuse me, young man. May I ask where you got that very impressive belt buckle?
Oh, this? I made it.
Goodness, it looks very nice. But, 7 in one blow? What on earth does that mean?
Well, I mean, they came right at me, like they were barreling right towards me, so I just stopped them dead with my hand. Wham! Just like that.
The man and woman stare at Elliot, then each other, then Elliot, then each other.
What? What's the matter? Why aren't you guys saying anything?
7 in one blow? 7 things that came toward him. Say, weren't there 7 rogue rampaging giants that were terrorizing the countryside recently?
By Jove, you're right. But then suddenly they all just seemingly vanished. They haven't been heard from in weeks.
You don't suppose?
She slowly motions towards Elliot. I think he did.
So did you guys have anything else to ask about the belt buckle, or?
He could be the one! The chosen one who finally rescues Princess Annabelle!
Hello? Why are you ignoring me?
Yes! By God, someone must inform the king!
If you're both going to be rude, I'm leaving.
No! Young man, stay put! Stay right where you are! Go! Go quickly! The king must be told!
The man hurries off, and, in a series of pantomimic sequences, we see a chain of command. First, the man goes up to a village elder and whispers in his ear. The village elder puts a hand to his chin, nods, then walks over to the head of the palace guard and whispers in his ear. The head of the palace guard gives the village elder an incredulous stare. The village elder nods as if to say, "No, it's true." With that, the head of the palace guard ventures over to the royal advisor and whispers in his ear. The royal advisor does a double take, as the head of the palace guard also gives a it's true nod. With that, the royal advisor walks over and through to a throne room, where, as some horns play fanfare, he goes up to the king. The royal advisor whispers in the king's ear as the king cocks his head to listen.
What? How many giants did he kill? Well, for goodness sakes, bring this young man to my throne room right away. I'll grant him an audience. Anything to get my daughter free. Go, at once.
The royal advisor goes back to the head of the palace guard and nods yes. The head of the palace guard goes to the village elder and nods his head yes. And the village elder goes back to the man and nods his head yes. Soon, the man goes back up to the woman and a very bored, impatient-looking Elliot.
Can I please go now? I need to use the bathroom real bad.
There's no time for that, kid. You've been granted an audience with His Majesty the King.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, go quickly. Go and see the king.
Holy moly, the king? I don't understand.
Well, your title there. You killed 7 in one blow. He slowly motions to the belt buckle.
Well, yeah, I did. So what?
My word. Brave, strong, and modest too. Sweetie, any boy who can kill 7 giants with one swing of his hand can easily rescue Princess Annabelle.
Yes, the king's only daughter.
Kidnapped and held prisoner by Horribel, the evil, horrible wizard.
7 giants?
Yes!
Yes!
The king's daughter?
Yes!
Yes!
And the Horribel, the evil, horrible wizard?
Yes!
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 Wait, giants? You said giants?
Well, yes. That's what you killed, isn't it? 7 giants in one blow?
You weren't lying to us, were you?
The man and woman give intent, hopeful, almost sad hound dog stares to Elliot.
Well, yes. Yes, I did. Sure. 7 giants.
Well, excellent. Then go! Run like the wind, dear! Run to the castle and see the king!
With that, the man and woman hurry off. Elliot watches them, then he puts his hands to his head as he realizes what just happened.
Oh my god. What the hell did I say that for? Giants? Oh man, I lied. A whooper of a lie. But I was so nervous. I panicked. But I can't just say no now. The king wants to have an audience with me. Oh, geez. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go through with it. If I tell the king I lied, he might throw me in a dungeon or worse. After all, this is his daughter he wants rescued, the princess. I shouldn't have lied like that, but I'm already in too deep. I need to go and speak to the king.
Elliot rips off the belt buckle and tosses it off stage, sighing in panic and frustration as he does. Then he begins to pace back and forth, speaking more to the audience than himself as he does.
Gosh, I really put myself in a pickle by talking about killing 7 in one blow. How am I supposed to face an evil magician by myself? I'll get burned to a crisp, turned into a newt, sprout a third arm from my stomach. That's secretly evil and only lived to try and strangle me. Good grief, if only I had a buddy to go with. Two traveling heroes are better than one, after all. Plus, it would make me a heck of a lot less anxious.
Suddenly, we hear a dramatic fanfare playing. Elliot looks around, confused. Soon, out steps Smitty onto the stage. He is similar in age to Elliot, and he is dressed up like a squire would be. He carries with him a record player from which the fanfare comes from. With that, he slowly and gingerly puts down the record player and carefully picks up the needle off the record to stop the music.
Remember, folks, always pick up the needle slowly. That way you don't damage the record. Did I hear you saying you needed an assistant, brave young Tailor Elliot, to go with you to speak to the king regarding a quest to save his daughter, the princess?
As a matter of fact, I did. I said all those things. Who might you be? Oh, he of dramatic entrances.
I'm Smitty, a hero's assistant in training. I've heard your plight, Elliot, and I am offering you my services. I will stand beside you and fight whatever evil comes our way, no matter how big, slimy, hideous, or monstrous the villains are. I will not leave your side. I will fight to the death with you, oh brave comrade.
Uh, uh hey, back up a second there. You're a what now?
Hero's assistant in training.
Hero's assistant in training.
Yes, that's my title.
You mean to tell me you're not even an official hero's assistant?
Hey, don't you get all judgmental on me, buddy.
I'm just saying, it's kind of hard to be confident when you're just in training.
Wow, look at you. You're just the son of a tailor. Not exactly what we call a bona fide hero.
But you forgot. I killed 7 in one blow, remember?
That is a pretty good thing to put on your resume. Yeah.
Well, I admit you have the spunk to help me and the enthusiasm, but just an assistant in training? Gosh, I don't know.
Oh, please, Elliot, please, I'm begging you. Say yes, please. My mother told me if I didn't make any progress on being a hero's assistant soon, she's gonna make me take my old job back.
So what? I'm sure your last job wasn't that bad.
I used to be a horse poop scooper.
A horse poop scooper?
Yeah, I'd go to all of the jousting tournaments, watch the knights compete, and scoop up any little presents the horses left behind.
Yikes. You poor son of a gun. In that case, welcome aboard, partner. In training.
Elliot and Smitty firmly shake hands.
Oh, thank you, Elliot. I promise you will not regret this. And I certainly am not regretting leaving my poop scooper job. Yeesh. Sometimes at night I can still smell the droppings.
The two boys are set to head off, but soon a mystery girl walks onto the stage. She casually goes up to Smitty and taps him on the shoulder.
Smitty?
Sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm in a hurry to get to the castle to speak to the king with my new partner, Elliot.
This will only take a moment, though.
I'm very sorry, but maybe we can talk later?
Smitty and Elliot slowly breeze off. The mystery girl calls out after them.
Oh, well, okay. I'll see you later then.
She shrugs and walks off in the opposite direction. Blackout. Scene change. Soon we are back in the throne room as the king waits patiently for the arrival of Elliot. After a few moments, a herald comes onto the stage and blows into a large, ornate trumpet. A fanfare, obviously. Your Majesty, presenting Elliot, the lad you sent for. He is also accompanied by Smitty, the What was his title again?
Hero's assistant in training.
Right, right. Well, they're here, Your Majesty.
Excellent. Send them right in.
More fanfare. And Elliot and Smitty, nervously intimidated, meekly walk on. The two boys approach the king, then stop before him.
Young Elliot, Smitty. Hello.
Your Majesty.
Thank you. Now.
The two boys bow for a second time.
Now I.
The boys bow for a third time.
Thank you, boys. Now I.
The boys bow for a fourth time.
Boys. You're fine. You can stop.
The boys bow for a fifth and final time.
Boys, please. You've been more than polite. At ease now. At ease.
Sorry, sir. It's just that, well, it's not every day that a humble tailor's son and a hero's assistant in training are granted an audience with the king.
It is a rare occurrence, yes. But goodness, when I heard from my reliable source that you, Elliot, killed 7 giants in one blow, I couldn't just let you go about your life. No. As a lad as strong and brave as you needed to come here, needed to be tasked with a great quest.
7 giants? Wow. You didn't mention it was 7 giants you killed in one blow. Gee, where would you dispose of bodies that big?
Elliot frowns and stomps on Smitty's foot.
Yow!
What's going on?
He means, better tell us the situation, Your Majesty, and quickly.
Yes, of course. I shall get to the point, boy. As you have no doubt heard, we are dealing with Hornbill, that blasted evil magician. I expelled him from my kingdom because he had nothing but black, twisted evil in his heart. He didn't want to use his magic for good deeds. He only wished to cause misery and chaos, so I gave him the boot. Unfortunately, the consequence to my actions came just a few days later. Hornbell sent his horrible, ugly, monstrous goblin minions to the castle, and they kidnapped my beloved daughter, Princess Annabelle. Now Hornbell has my dear, sweet only daughter captive at his lair.
Goodness, how dreadful!
Your Majesty, I may have been humble, aspiring tailor, but I wish to attempt to save the princess, Annabelle. I mean, after all, I felled 7 in one blow. I feel I'm brave enough to confront Horrible.
I admire this courage you're showing, Elliot, my lad, but it's not going to be easy, despite you having felled 7 giants in one blow. Many young men such as you have volunteered to attempt to rescue my daughter, including young knights and princes from distant kingdoms, but none have come back.
None?
What are you doing?
Trying to find a note from my doctor excusing me from this.
Oh, Smitty, hush. It might be tough, but to rescue Princess Annabelle, I'll try.
I suppose I'm in no position to stop you. If you want to try, be my guest, lad. If you are able to defeat Hornbell and bring Annabelle back safely, you shall have any reward you ask for. Here, for reference, Princess Annabelle looks like this.
He snaps his fingers and a poster-sized picture appears from off stage of Annabelle. She is a beautiful-looking young lady, around the age of Elliot. Elliot is awestruck as he gazes at the picture. Soon, in his imagination, Annabelle literally steps out of the picture and regally walks up to Elliot. She smiles at him and waves, and he smittenly, shyly smiles and waves back. Princess Annabelle beckons Elliot closer with a finger. Elliot points to himself in a "who, me?" gesture. She nods and Elliot steps closer to her. Princess Annabelle smiles and puckers her lips out for a kiss. Elliot grins a smitten grin and he puckers up as well. The two slowly lean in, but before a kiss can occur, we hear Smitty's voice calling out.
Elliot? Elliot? Earth to Elliot!
The lights blink off for a few moments, then blink back on. Princess Annabelle is back to being a picture, and Elliot is standing close to it. Smitty and the king look at Elliot as if he's gone insane.
Um, um, oh, sorry about that. What? What are you staring at?
Well, His Majesty showed us a picture of Princess Annabelle, and you just kind of walked towards it and puckered your lips out near it, like you're gonna kiss it.
Am I going to regret having him go attempt to rescue my daughter?
Sorry, Majesty, I was just, that's what I do to combat chapped lips.
Chapped
Chapped
lips?
lips?
Yeah, you, pucker your lips out to, evenly distribute any cracks, and your lips appear smoother?
That seems plausible.
Checks out to me.
Holy smokes, they actually bought that?
Did you say something, lad?
I mean, Smitty, come on. Let's set out on our quest to rescue Princess Annabelle. Your Majesty, we'll be back as soon as we can, with our beloved daughter in tow.
See you in the funny papers, your kingliness.
Elliot and Smitty race off as the king thinks for a moment, then slowly picks up a nearby mirror and holds it up.
Combating chapped lips, eh?
A long beat. The king puckers his lips out for a few moments, then unpuckers and thinks.
Oh, goodness, they do look a bit smoother back there.
The lights fade out on the king, and after a brief scene change, some evil, ominous music plays. We are soon in the lair of the evil magician Horrible. He is seated upon a throne-like chair and is gazing in a magic mirror. It appears he was watching the preceding events from said mirror. They are currently on replay as he watches with a smirk.
Smitty, come on. Let's set out on our quest to rescue Princess Annabelle.
Horrible slowly snaps his fingers and the mirror vanishes. Then he snickers to himself.
So, His Majesty is going to send another foolish boy to attempt to defeat me and free his daughter, huh? Well...
He slowly pulls out a chalkboard. On it are written the words, "Heroes defeated by moi," and several dozen slash marks. He chuckles at the board, then puts it aside.
Pretty soon, I'm going to need a brand new chalkboard to tally my victims. Speaking of the princess, bring in Princess Annabelle.
Two goblin minions escort in a very displeased-looking Princess Annabelle, one on either side of her. As she is brought center stage, she winces in pain and shoots the goblin on her left an angry look.
You're digging your claws into my arm, you brute! Let go! Let go, fathead!
She uppercuts the goblin minion, dazing him. The other goblin minions attempt to grab at Princess Annabelle, but she ducks him and punches him in the stomach. Both minions groan in pain as Horrible watches with an impressed look. The two minions recover and growl at Princess Annabelle.
You'll pay for this, princess.
Boys! I already told you, you are not to lay a hand on the princess until I give the signal. I must tell you, Your Majesty, I applaud your tenacity and bravery. You've beaten up quite a few of my minions while you've been prisoner here. Pretty soon, they'll need hazard pay.
I demand you let me go, Horrible. At once! I don't wish to be in this horrible pigsty you call a prison any longer. Let me go. So help me, if you don't release me back to my father, I'll...
Please, Your Majesty, calm yourself. I have every intention of releasing you from being my prisoner. However, it'll be under one condition.
Oh, gracious! Don't tell me, you vile, horrible fiend! You wish to marry me, don't you? You want to take me as your bride! You brute! You vicious, disgusting brute!
What? Ugh, no! What's the matter with you? That's sick. I'm an evil magician, but not that evil. You're just a kid. Ugh. The condition for your information was that your father gave his entire kingdom to me, and that I was allowed to turn him and you into toads. So you'd spend the rest of your days hopping and croaking, helpless to gain back your kingdom. Huh. Marry you. How revolting.
Well, I suppose it's a plus that you don't wish to marry me, but still, you vine fiend, taking away the kingdom my father worked so hard to get. Turning us into toads, you dreadful, awful man.
Yes, I am indeed a dreadful evil man. Thank you. But only because I wish to rule this land with an iron fist and twist it with my evil magic to my desires. Not for, well, what she originally said. Take her away and put her back in her cell. Maybe while she's in there, she'll learn to think before she speaks.
The two goblin minions slowly and carefully close in on Princess Annabelle. She frowns and holds them back up with a fist.
You touch me, and I'll rip you both to pieces. You think I'm kidding? Just try me, and you'll lose those arms. I can walk without your slimy goblin hands on me, thank you very much.
She gives Horribel one last disgusted look before she turns away.
Yeesh. I'll have to hire more goblin minions at this rate. She beats them up faster than I can have them serve at this castle.
Blackout and scene change. Outside, somewhere near a group of trees, Elliot and Smitty walk on side by side, though both look like they need to take a break from walking, if only for a few moments.
Let's rest here a minute, Smitty. Then we'll plot our next move.
The two boys sit underneath the shade of the tree and pantomime resting and talking as, meanwhile, a bluebird flits happily onto the stage. She hums sweetly and joyfully to herself as she comes to rest on the branch of a tree. This is Nina, the happy little bluebird. She looks around the area with a smile, then begins to sing sweetly.
What happy bluebird I am, singing a gay melody just like all people you see.
A boot comes flying from off stage and towards Nina. She ducks it with annoyance. Be quiet, you annoying bird! Shut up! Two tin cans come flying at Nina, one after the other. She ducks each one with exasperated annoyance. Finally, a pine cone comes on and it beans Nina directly in the head.
Ow! Humph, you horrible human, you ain't even no talent.
No talent!
Say, little bluebird, come here a moment, won't you?
Nina cautiously flutters down to the two boys and eyes Elliot warily.
Are you talking to me?
Sure I am. Goodness, I'm awfully sorry to see someone treating your wonderful singing so terribly.
Yeah, I thought it was quite lovely, too.
Well, thank you, human boys. Thank you very much.
Slowly, Nina begins to slouch, as if taking up a more relaxed position.
I got in love with you. It's very hard to maintain my good nature when people hate my singing. Do you mind if I...
Nina pulls out a white stick from behind her and puts it into her mouth. Both boys do a double take at this.
My word!
Gosh, little bluebird, you mustn't do a thing like that. It'll ruin your lungs. Then how will you possibly sing?
Slowly, Nina raises a brow and pulls out the stick from her mouth to show that it is in fact a lollipop, not a cigarette.
How could this ruin my lungs? You two kind and all, but me and you two are both weird.
So what's your name?
Nina the happy bluebird.
A pleasure. I'm Elliot and this is Smitty.
Hello.
So what's your story then, Elliot and Smitty? What are you up to?
Well, you see, we're off on a dangerous quest. We're traveling to rescue Princess Annabelle from the clutches of the evil magician Horrible.
Did you say horrible?
I did.
He's the one who cast a spell on people around here and make them treat my singing so cruelly. I remember like it was yesterday. I was singing a song outside his lair and took one look at me and shouted, you disgusting rat with wings, I shall curse you. From now on, may anyone who hears your singing may be repulsed by it.
Yikes!
Well, clearly it didn't work fully. Smitty and I both liked your singing.
Perhaps the pure of your heart will be bewitched by it.
Pure of heart, huh? Gosh, how very nice of you to say.
Say, Elliot, why don't we bring Nina along with us? She can keep our spirits up with her singing, and perhaps she can be our eyes in the sky. She could view things from the air and tell us what's going on.
Smitty, that's brilliant. I agree. Plus, if we defeat Horrible, it could break the spell that he casts on your singing, Nina. Then people will love to hear it again.
And here I thought humans are all awful, rotten things with no taste in music. Bless you, you got yourself a deal.
Well, let's get going then, you two. The faster we go, the quicker we can get to Horrible's castle.
I'll fly ahead and see if there's any dangers.
Good idea.
Nina flies off as Elliot also heads off. Smitty begins to follow, but soon the mystery girl from earlier walks over, very casually, and taps Smitty on the shoulder.
Oh, Smitty?
Gosh, I'm really sorry, but you caught me at a bad time again.
I just wanted to say...
I promise, as soon as I'm free to talk, we can talk. I'm really sorry.
Smitty waves and hurries off.
No worries. Take your time. I know you're very busy. Bye.
She walks off back in the direction that she came from. Blackout and scene change. Soon, we are at the castle of Horrible. Specifically, we are in the prison room where Princess Annabelle is being held. She sits sadly by the window, which has iron bars on it to prevent her escape. She sighs a longing sigh as she gazes out into the night sky.
Oh, goodness. What a horrible predicament I'm in. My poor father. He must be pacing his throne room, worried sick about me. Oh, how I wish I could be there to run into his arms and give him a hug. If only I can get out of this horrible place. If only that wretched, nasty, disgusting Horrible would release me. If only I could be rescued by some sweet, kind, brave, handsome boy. Maybe soon. Maybe soon.
Soon, a goblin minion walks onto the stage, holding a plate of gruel in his hand to give to Annabelle. She stands up and, sighing a wistful sigh, she begins to sing.
Maybe far away, or maybe real nearby.
Hey, you, cut that out.
I beg your pardon?
Can't you read the sign, you prissy little shrew?
He points to a nearby sign that lights up on one of the walls of the prison.
Warning. Absolutely no breaking out into song is allowed.
Yep, and that includes love songs about whatever stinky, stupid human boy might try to rescue you.
Just give me I suppose that's my dinner you have there for me. And go away, you slimy goblin.
The goblin minion shoves the plate of gruel into the hands of Princess Annabelle.
Ugh, what is this, vomit? Doesn't that horrible magician have anything edible I could eat?
Doesn't that horrible magician have anything edible I could eat?
Little brat.
Oh, I know you weren't just mocking me with meat still in the room.
So what if I was? What are you going to do about it?
A long beat. Princess Annabelle calmly takes off her crown, then 2 rings that she is wearing, and places them aside. Without saying a word, she approaches the goblin minion, rears back, and punches him square in the throat. Before the minion knows what hit him, Princess Annabelle chops him across the face.
Infinite measure!
Princess Annabelle kicks the goblin minion square in the nays, a direct hit.
Oh, I give up. Oh.
The goblin minion falls over with a thud as Princess Annabelle comes up to him and points a warning finger at him.
You go and tell Horrible that I demand food fit for human consumption, or else you especially will get another beating, understood?
Yeah, good food. Got it. Oh.
The goblin minion scurries away off stage as Princess Annabelle sighs, fixes her hair briefly, then inspects her shoe, looking at it with disgust as she does.
He slobbered all over my shoes, the big brute.
Blackout. Scene change. The next morning, Nina, Elliot, and Smitty come walking onto the stage. Nina perches on a nearby tree branch as Elliot and Smitty stand underneath the shade of it.
Phew. All this walking has me tired.
And hungry.
And bored. Yay, because we were walking almost a full day and we had seen nothing but trees, grass. Even like the sky looked around is Dullsville.
Boring stuff is better than danger, Nina. You have to admit.
I'll say, I might want to be a hero's assistant, but the thought of physical harm to my body gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I might be a bluebird, but you are a regular Chicken Little, aren't you?
I resent that remark.
Nina, come on now. Let's all be peaceful, okay?
I am peaceful. I'm also honest. Is that a crime?
We soon hear the rustling and chittering of a squirrel from somewhere off stage. Suddenly,
Coming through!
Did you guys hear that?
Coming through!
Gee, I hear it too.
What do you suppose it is?
Look out!
on cue, on rushes Pips the squirrel. He excitedly runs about, nearly bowling over Elliot and Smitty. The two boys try and dodge as best as they can as Pips weaves around them.
Ow! Hey, look out!
Look out!
What is that?
What is that?
Ow!
Yow!
Look out, world! Here comes Pips. Pips the squirrel, at your service.
Pips finally skids to a stop.
And that was just my warm-up. Just watch now as I really get going.
No! I mean, it's fine. Pips, was it? We get the picture.
So what brings you over here, little fella?
Well, big dork, I've been climbing on some tree branches and keep overhearing you guys talk about Horrible, that evil, ugly, no-good magician. And the fact he has dear, sweet, pretty Princess Annabelle as his prisoner.
Yes, that's all correct.
Well, that rotten, no-good magician cast a fire spell at the tree I live in. Me, my parents, my sister, and brother lost everything. Our entire homes, our nuts, all gone.
How terrible.
Yeah, which is why I want to help you guys. I want to get revenge.
Well, gosh, Pips. The more the merrier. But what exactly can you do that can help us?
Well, I'm real fast. Super quick, yeah. If you need messages sent back and forth to the king, I'm your squirrel.
Say, that's not a bad thing to have at your disposal, Elliot.
It certainly isn't. All right, Pips, you're hired.
Excellent.
He slowly shakes Elliot's hand.
So, do you guys have names or shall I just call you Dork 1 and Dork 2?
He's got spunk, even if he is kind of mouthy for a squirrel. Well, I'm Elliot, and this here my partner is Smitty.
A pleasure.
Oh, and that there is Nina, the happy little bird.
Pips double takes and stares in awe and astonishment at Nina. He bashfully goes over to her and shyly waves.
Oh, where has she been all my life?
He gently takes her hand in his and smiles.
Enchanté, milady.
Well, he's an absolute cutie pie, isn't he?
Pip smiles and bashfully looks away.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no.
Well, hey, now we have 4 heroes instead of 3.
Indeed we do. Come on, gang. Let's keep going to Horrible's lair.
Pips gestures for Nina to go ahead of him.
After you.
Good, gentle squirrel.
Gentle squirrel. I'm liking this journey already.
Everyone is about to head off when, for a third time, the mystery girl walks over. She casually strolls up to Smitty and taps his shoulder.
Smitty,
You're gonna hate me, but
busy right now?
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible.
Oh, it's fine. It happens. Don't worry.
I pinky swear, as soon as I have 5 minutes to spare, and you and I will totally talk.
Smitty goes off. The mystery girl calls out after him.
Okay. Just let me know as soon as you have those 5 minutes.
She skips off back in the direction from which she came.
Who was that?
I don't know.
With that, Pips and Nina head off. Blackout and scene change. Princess Annabelle is again in her prison. She paces the room sadly, trying to think of a way out. Soon, she heaves a sigh and speaks to the audience.
Gracious me, I simply must think of a way to get out of here. Horrible has certainly made any attempt of escaping harder than usual. Hey, when you've managed to escape 8 or 9 times like I have, I guess you need to make things tougher as the main bad guy. I probably would have gotten away too, but those slimy, horrible, ugly goblin minions always keep catching me. There's more of them than there are of me, after all. Oh well.
Suddenly, the cell door to Princess Annabelle's room creaks open, and we hear a voice from off stage, sounding vaguely like Elliot's.
Princess, dear Princess Annabelle,
Who's there?
it is I, the brave, strong, and did I mention handsome boy, who is set up to rescue you. I endured a tough and violent fight to get to you, oh beautiful one.
What? That easily? My goodness. You know, it was awfully quiet out there, and yet you claim it was a violent fight.
My love, please don't overthink things. What matters is that I'm here now to sweep you off your feet and carry you back to your father.
Gosh, maybe I am overthinking things. Oh, happy day, I'm saved! Oh, just one moment, dear, brave hero. Let me make myself, presentable.
She goes over and grabs a compact mirror and opens it up. She quickly powders her nose, then applies a bit of lipstick to her lips. She checks herself out briefly, smiles, then nods and puts the compacted mirror away.
Enter, my conquering champion, my brave, victorious hero.
In the shadows, a figure steps on stage. He appears to be dressed like Elliot, but in the dark, we can't quite make out who it is. Princess Annabelle steps closer to the figure and speaks.
Come, come, my brave hero. Step into the light so I may see you. Come now, don't be shy. My knight in shining armor. I wish to reward you with a kiss. How can I reward you if you don't show yourself?
Princess Annabelle puckers her lips out for a kiss, and the figure soon steps into the light. To her shock, it is a goblin minion. Princess Annabelle recoils in horror.
Ha ha ha!
Eek!
Well, I suppose one kiss wouldn't hurt. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Uh-oh.
Princess Annabelle angrily rears back and punches the goblin minion square in the nose.
Ooh.
Princess Annabelle then punches the goblin minion in the stomach, elbows him in the nose, and soon, for good measure, she turns him around and boots him in the behind, knocking the goblin minion off stage.
Get out! Out, out, out! If there's one thing that I despise more than anything, it's being tricked, especially by a slimy creature like you. Get away from my cell, you big pile of mucus.
Oh, the other goblins told me she'd laugh. Ow.
Making me waste my makeup like that. Don't they know how dreadfully expensive lipstick and powder puff is? When I get out of here, I ought to send them a bill for this.
Blackout and a passage of time, as well as a scene change. In a tree somewhere along the way where our heroes are traveling, Nina sits and gazes out into the audience. Pips, meanwhile, tiptoes onto the same branch Nina is on, and he smittenly smiles and sits, gazing at her as he does.
Golly, she's so pretty. Her name ought to be Nina, the beautiful bluebird, instead. Ah, gosh.
Ahem, I gotta keep my voice strong. I better practice after all what Bluebird to do if her voice gives out.
Slowly, Nina stands up straight, regally, a commanding presence to her almost. With that, she begins to sing.
Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back. Now we are here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear. And now the world I'm running fast on this journey to the past.
Gosh, Nina, that sure was great singing.
Do you think so? That's very sweet of you. Thank you, Pips.
Ah, shucks. Thanks. You know, my father has often told me that if I want to impress a girl, I should dazzle her with something she likes. Well, Nina really likes to sing. Therefore, Nina, if I may be so bold.
To do what?
Oh, just this.
Pips dashes off stage. When he comes back on, he is dressed to impress and ready to dance.
Hit it, fellas!
With that, music begins to play and Pips starts to dance.
Woo! Look at me go! Check me out! I'm dancing! I'm dancing! Stick those happy feet of mine! Ta-da!
That was great. Spectacular. Wonderful.
It was. I mean, it was.
Gosh, Pips, you're not only cute as all heck, you're talented too.
Cute, and talented?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you beautiful bird, take me! I'm yours!
Pips goes to embrace Nina, who giggles and flutters away. Elliot and Smitty emerge back onto the stage meanwhile.
Okay, gang, we're almost near Horribel's castle. We better get a move on so we don't.
Pips is now hugging the air where Nina was, as well as making a few kissing sounds too.
Mwah! Mwah! Mwah!
Waste too much time.
Mwah?
Gee, Pips, we're not interrupting anything, are we? So, Pips, who's your new girlfriend? Arlene? Get it? Like, Arlene?
I get it, you dork. Now shut up.
If it makes you feel any better, you look adorable, not dumb.
Thanks, I guess. If you'll excuse me, I need to go just put my foot in my mouth.
Let's keep moving, gang.
Everyone heads off stage as the lights dim in an ominous manner. Slowly, after a brief scene change, we see we are just outside of Horribel's castle. Soon, Elliot, Smitty, Pips, and Nina creep on, all four looking nervous, even a bit scared.
Gosh, it sure got dark out here.
Yeah, it's getting dark and spooky.
Do you think we're near Horribel's lair?
Well, it depends on a few things.
Like what?
Well, you know, the usual things that happen when you're near the castle of an evil bad guy in stories. There's thunder. And lightning?
Then what?
Then ominous, scary music starts to play. Then the next thing that happens is
Please don't say anything else.
Smitty has frantically covered Pip's mouth with his hand.
mm, mm,
Just shh, Pips. Who knows if any of Horribel's minions might be lurking around?
Elliot, meanwhile, is quiet, a look of determination in his eyes. He has a 1,000-yard stare as he gazes at something in the distance.
Elliot? Elliot, you okay, buddy? You've been quiet for a while. Elliot, this quietness has gone up from uber cool hero into alarming. Come on, man, say something. What's going on? What do you see?
There. Horribel's lair. That tower jutting out. There's bars by the window. And where there's bars, there's a prison. And where there's a prison, it stands to reason a princess is probably captive. Princess Annabelle, to be exact.
You think?
I do. Keep an eye out for any baddies, or Horribel himself. I'm gonna go get a closer look.
Okay, well, if you need help, just give a scream. And please distinguish between a scream of help and a scream of pain if you can.
Elliot is now closer to the jutted tower. He gazes up at the nearby barred windows, and he spies Princess Annabelle. She is attempting to try and pry the bars on the window loose, with no success. Elliot watches her silently for a few moments, quite smitten.
Aha, there. That must be Princess Annabelle. Oh, golly, she's even prettier in person. Such beautiful eyes, such nice silky hair, such pouty lips. Oh, wowee. Wow. What a beautiful girl. Man, have I got to get a grip on myself. I haven't even saved here yet.
He looks at the nearby surface of the lair and, determined, he begins to climb up on the wall.
It's a good thing I'm not afraid of heights. I mean, I'm afraid of falling from the heights, but not the heights itself.
Elliot gets close to the bars, but he begins to lose his grip, and he stumbles a bit. He strains to hold on as he speaks.
Ahem, Your Majesty? Princess Annabelle? Please, sir, goodness sake, before I lose the feeling in both of my hands.
Huh? Oh, goodness. Here, let me help you.
She reaches her hands out, as much as she can, and helps Elliot up so he is at eye level with her.
Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, and my hands.
Who are you?
I'm Elliot, my lady. I have come to rescue you from the evil Horribel.
Oh, thank goodness. I can't stand to be here another minute. Say, you're pretty cute. Much cuter than the last few boys who came to try to rescue me.
Cute? You think I'm cute? Oh, be still my heart.
He puts his hands to his heart, and he almost falls away.
Uh-oh.
Princess Annabelle gasps and grabs his hands to steady him.
Oh gosh! Easy does it now. The last thing we need is for you to break multiple bones.
Right, good thinking.
A beat. Elliot attempts to pry one of the bars off the window loose, but cannot.
Tell me, Princess, is there any clues you can give me as to how I can get in and get you out of there?
I might have a few clues I can give, but not just yet. Come back in a few hours when those gross goblins are sleeping. Then we can talk strategy.
Sounds like a plan. It's a total shot in the dark, but you don't suppose I get a kiss for good luck before I go, do you?
He puckers his lips out eagerly for a kiss for a few seconds.
You are so incredibly adorable. I can't stand it. And if I'm being honest. I actually wouldn't be opposed to it under better circumstances. But, perhaps maybe we can get me out of here first, before we talk that sort of talk.
Yeah, good thinking. It would be really awkward if I got a kiss for good luck and then totally failed.
I'll signal you when those goblins are all finally asleep. Then you can climb back up here. I'll be waiting for you, okay?
Absolutely. Until then.
She smiles and gently blows him a kiss. He attempts to catch it, but momentarily loses his grip. He corrects himself, gives a "I'm okay" smile, then climbs down to the ground below. Meanwhile, Horribel watches his magic mirror again, seeing all that has gone on. He frowns and narrows his eyes at what he has seen.
It appears I have some unwanted guests. I'll be sure to fix that. Quickly.
Horribel vanishes off stage. Meanwhile, Smitty goes back up to Elliot.
Elliot, there you are! And hey, there's Princess Annabelle! Wow, she's beautiful. You lucky duck, you.
I know, right?
So, now what? Now, do we just go in?
We do, yes. Now, Smitty, I can't lie. This is going to be dangerous. We might face some bodily harm going into Horribel's lair.
Gee, he makes it sound like such fun, doesn't he?
But if we're going to rescue Princess Annabelle, we're going to need to find a way in and possibly do battle with Horribel.
Battle, huh? Well, Nina, my beautiful bluebird, do you suppose before I charge in there with Elliot and Smitty, I could get a kiss? For luck.
He puckers his lips out for a kiss.
No, Pips. Me and Smitty are better equipped to fight Horribel than you are. I want you to stand guard out here with Nina.
Stand guard? Just stand guard.
No hard feeling, Pips, but Elliot is right. Stand guard out here, and if things go haywire, go to the castle as fast as you can and get help.
Seriously? Seriously, fellas. You're killing me over here. I'm trying to look like a hero in front of, well, you know. And you're giving me guard duty. I don't suppose that kiss for luck extends to being on guard duty?
Sorry, the guard duty does not quite fully for kiss for luck. I mean, it makes you feel better. You're still awfully cute to me. And if you're still guard with anyone, it should be you.
Well, I feel a little better, but still. Guard duty?
I'm sorry.
Pips, join the club. I struck out and got a kiss for good luck, too. You're definitely not alone.
Phew. Thank goodness Elliot couldn't get a kiss to save his life. I mean, shucks. Sorry, pal.
Come on, Smitty, let's find a way inside.
Blackout. Scene change. Soon, we are in the inside of Horribel's lair. Elliot pokes his head on, followed by Smitty. The two, in unison, tiptoe onto the stage.
It's a good thing we found that conveniently placed large crack in the wall that we were able to squeeze through to get in here.
I know. It was almost like it was placed there to keep the plot moving forward.
What?
What?
You all heard that, right? I'm not crazy?
The two continue to tiptoe around the stage. Soon, Elliot breaks the silence.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
That's the kind of quiet I hate the most. Say, Elliot? I know this is sorta not the time to overthink things, but, well, did you happen to notice how easy it was to get in the castle?
Gee, you know what? Now that you mention it, it was a bit easy to get here, wasn't it?
Oh, good. Then I'm not going crazy.
Gosh, you'd think Horribel would have thrown obstacles in our way to keep us getting to the castle in order to keep Princess Annabelle in his clutches and to hold his evil power.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Suddenly, Horabelle is seen rising up directly behind the two boys.
Did you ever stop to think I did that purposely to give the two of you little fools a false sense of security so that you'd come blindly charging in here, only to be destroyed within seconds when it turns out there's lots of dangers and evil abound here?
Your mouth didn't move that time.
Neither did yours.
Well, if you didn't just say that, and I didn't just say that, then that means...
The two boys gulp and, in unison, turn around to face the grinning Horabelle.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right.
Horrible!
That's Horabelle, you little pipsqueaks!
No, we definitely mean horrible. How could the two of us fall for such a cliched situation? The heroes get to the evil lair far too easily, only to be ambushed by said evil when they venture into the lair routine.
I feel so stupid. I had this nagging feeling in the back of my mind, but I ignored it. Why did I ignore it?
Me too.
Silence! Quit beating yourselves up, boys. Allow me to blast you both with fireballs! Then you'll be too busy running around in flames to feel bad.
Both Elliot and Smitty frown and draw swords out and point them at Horabelle.
Not a chance. I came here to defeat you and save Princess Annabelle, and I intend to do it.
And I intend to insist. Prepare to be vanquished, Horrible.
Oh. What cute little tinker toys you two have.
Slowly, Horabelle raises his hands up and zaps at the two swords, and they go flying out of Elliot and Smitty's hands.
What the?
Uh-oh.
I hope now you two little punks realize the gravity of the situation you're in.
Your magic doesn't scare me.
It doesn't scare me either.
Horabelle points towards the floor, and a flashbang goes off near Smitty's feet. Smitty gasps and backs up a few steps.
Okay, maybe it scares me a little bit.
Since you're technically not the main hero tasked with trying to defeat me and save Princess Annabelle, I could give you a chance to leave. The entrance is right there. But think quick, boy, for I'm not very patient.
Smitty, I won't think less of you if you want to leave. Besides, I'm the one Horrible wants. I'm the one who said he gets win today.
No way. I made a promise to you, Elliot, and I don't intend to break it. We're a team. We do this together.
Attaboy, partner.
Fine. But remember, I gave you a chance. My lair shall be the tomb for both of you!
And so a fight begins. Horabelle points to several spots on the stage, and flashbangs go off all around, but Smitty and Elliot dodge and weave around them. Soon, Smitty scoops up a nearby handful of rocks and begins to chuck them at Horabelle. Horabelle is beamed a few times in the head and arms, and he angrily glares at Smitty, then waves a hand at him. A gust of wind blows Smitty off his feet and onto his back. Elliot, meanwhile, sneaks up on Horabelle and pulls his wizard hat down over his eyes. Horabelle grunts in annoyance and attempts to pull his hat up, only for Elliot to stomp on his left foot, then his right foot.
Ow!
Ha! No amount of magic can match a good old-fashioned foot stomping.
Ah, you little pest! You don't have the guts to do that again!
A beat. Elliot stomps on both of Horabelle's feet.
Yeah! You wrestle friggin' little...
I've only just begun to fight.
Elliot elbows Horabelle in the stomach.
Take that!
Oof! Ugh, why am I letting this boy gain the upper hand?
Horabelle raises his hands and sends a bolt of lightning towards Elliot. Elliot grabs a nearby mirror and holds it up like a shield, and the lightning reflects back to Horabelle.
Yeah!
Now can you see I'm not such a pushover, Horabelle?
Right? Time for my insurance policy! Bring her in here!
A group of goblin minions appear on stage, dragging in a protesting and scared Princess Annabelle.
No! No, let me go! Let me go!
Princess!
Elliot!
Don't move another step, boy! When I snap my fingers, my minions will tear the lovely princess into pieces! I promised that she would not be harmed until I gave a signal. And that, my boy, is the signal! One more step, and my fingers go snap!
You fiend!
Let her go. Your fight is with me.
Touching and quite brave, too. But it's simply adorable that you think you hold the cards in this situation.
Elliot narrows his eyes at Horribel, then looks, concerned, to Princess Annabelle, then back to Horribel.
If one hair on her head gets harmed, I swear I'll make you pay.
Trust me, no harm will come to her. If you do the smart thing, boy.
He has done something for me, though.
He has?
I have?
Mm-hmm. Elliot, sweetie, you've provided me with a distraction.
Princess Annabelle karate chops one of the goblin minions over the head, then chops a second one on the chest. Soon, she begins to methodically beat up each of the goblin minions near her, as Elliot and Smitty watch in shock.
I forgot she was a feisty one!
Holy cow.
Way to go, Princess!
Princess Annabelle continues to beat the stew out of these goblin minions.
Hiya! Yeah! Take this, and that, and some of this!
Princess Annabelle picks up one last goblin minion, lifts him over her head, and tosses him off stage like a rag doll.
I'll take you all on! Do you hear me? All of you! The next one of you that takes a step towards me will be in a world of pain! Sorry I had to see that.
Don't apologize. That was awesome.
Enough of this! I shall no harm you, your majesty!
No!
Horribel goes to zap Princess Annabelle, but Elliot rushes in and knocks her out of harm's way. Elliot gets hit with the bolt of lightning, and he grunts in pain and falls to the floor. Smitty tries to jump in to help, but some of the goblin minions tackle him and hold him down.
Elliot, no!
This time, you don't have a buffer to protect you, my dear!
Horribel raises his arms to strike, but soon Elliot recovers and he manages to swiftly kick Horribel right in the jewels. Horribel lets out a wheezed gasp and doubles over.
That was a low blow, you little creep!
Horribel falls over and crawls off stage briefly as Princess Annabelle rushes to Elliot's side as he wearily sits up.
Elliot!
Princess, are you okay?
I am, yes! Thanks to you.
Aw, shucks. It was nothing.
Not to me, it wasn't.
She slowly helps him to his feet, an adoring tone to her voice.
You're the first boy who has managed to get this far into a fight with Horribel. You really are the chosen hero.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The two smile, pucker their lips out, and lean in, but they don't get very far as Smitty calls out, fighting off goblin minions as he does.
Guys, as cute as you both are together, we've kind of not won the fight yet. Besides, Horribel is getting up.
Elliot looks over his shoulder. Indeed, Horribel is coming back onto the stage, looking very angry.
Uh-oh, he's right. To be continued?
Absolutely.
All right. No more Mr. Nice Wizard. Now I play dirty!
He grabs Elliot by the collar and tosses him aside, then zaps at Princess Annabelle's legs. She tries to move but can't.
What the? You froze my legs! I can't move!
What part of play dirty did you not comprehend, my dear? As for you, Elliot, I admit you put up a good fight, but in the end, I always win.
Slowly, a back-projected video image comes on, and Horribel points to it. On the video, a very large boulder shakes, then lifts up into the air. With a zapping sound effect, it gets launched into the air. Smitty and Elliot dive for cover, but nothing happens. Horribel looks up as if watching the boulder go higher and higher into the air. The two boys slowly stand up and look around, confused.
What happened?
Yeah, that boulder should have come down by now.
Huh. Guess I put a little too much oomph into that spell. Well, I guess it'll come to Earth later, and when it does, believe me, it's gonna crush every bone in the body of whomever it lands on.
He advances onto the frozen-in-her spot, Princess Annabelle.
Now then, let's see what you look like turned into a toad.
Oh, no, you don't.
He leaps up and grabs onto Horribel's left arm. Smitty grabs onto Horribel's right arm.
Ah! Ah! Stop! Get off of me! Ah! Stop! My brothers used to do this to me! I hated it then, I hate it now!
As Horribel grapples with both Elliot and Smitty, suddenly, the mystery girl casually strolls onto the stage. Everyone stops to stare at her as she goes up to Smitty.
Smitty, do you have a second to talk?
What the?
So, please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm really not in a position to talk right now. In fact, this is kind of a life or death thing.
Oh. Oops, I didn't realize. I'm so bad at timing.
It's fine.
Well, I'll just see myself out. Sorry to be a bother. Bye.
She skips off stage.
Who was that girl? And how did she get into my lair and past all my goblin minions?
I don't know, but man, we sure could use someone with her stealth.
Should we go back to fighting?
Oh, right, yeah, fighting!
Horribel shoves the two boys away, but both boys push forward, not wanting to give up. Smitty jumps onto Horribel's back and pulls his wizard hat over his eyes again.
Ah! Get some new material, you little worm!
If you say so.
Smitty lights a firecracker and shoves it down Horribel's shirt, then leaps off of his back and ducks for cover.
Not that material!
Kaboom! Horribel falls over. When he sits up, he is dazed, in pain, and his face has soot on it.
Had enough, Horribel?
Suddenly, the ground starts to shake. Smitty gulps nervously, then speaks.
I'm thinking that's a no.
I have had just about enough of this! Time for Plan B! Mutually assured destruction!
Oh no!
Oh yes! If I'm going to get bested, I'm gonna best you as well!
Princess Annabelle's legs unfreeze and she topples over. Smitty goes to help her up.
I'm free from that spell! But why?
Well, wild guess, but I think a wackadoodle here is cooking up something bad.
I command this castle to crumble down onto these little fools. You can take me, but take them as well!
Smitty, take the Princess Annabelle and get out of here.
Not without you, dude.
Yes, we're not gonna leave you behind.
I'd rather you two be safe. Go, go, go!
But,
Please go, now!
good gravy. Handsome and braver than anything. I'm crushing on him so much right now.
Less spawning, more running.
Smitty drags Princess Annabelle off stage.
None of you are leaving alive! I need it none!
Elliot leaps onto Horribel's back and covers his eyes with both of his hands.
Run, both of you!
The goblin minions all gasp as the castle continues to crumble around them.
I didn't sign up for this. Retreat, fellow goblins, retreat!
With that, the goblin minions retreat away from the battle, though one of them climbs up into the tree that Pips and Nina are in. He spies the two, then, smirking, he shoves Pips with his foot from behind, causing Pips to splat onto his stomach. He soon grabs a horrified Nina.
Help! Help! Let me go. You're hurting me.
Ooh, what pretty blue feathers you have. Gee, I wonder what you'd look like with all them ripped off of you.
No, don't. Help me. Someone, please help me.
Get your filthy, rotten hands off her, you goofy goblin goon.
Pips has managed to recover. He storms over to the goblin minion and bonks him on the head, then knees him in the stomach, then finally kicks him in the behind, knocking him off stage.
Ouch, drat! Yow, double drat! Ah, triple drat!
And don't come back.
My hero.
Nina hugs Pips, who smittenly hugs her back. However, we soon hear more booms and explosions from within Horribel's lair.
Uh-oh, Nina. As wonderful as hugging you is, we'd better get to the king and tell him what's going on. He can bring the cavalry. Come on.
Lead the way.
Nina and Pips race off as Smitty and Princess Annabelle rush for cover and dive behind a nearby tree.
Keep your head down, Your Majesty.
I have to see if Elliot is okay.
More explosions and debris. Princess Annabelle gasps and ducks for cover.
See why I said to keep your head down?
I do.
Meanwhile, Horribel manages to knock Elliot off of his back and onto the ground. He looms over Elliot, who groans in pain.
Any last words, boy, before we become pancakes?
Not quite words, no. Just an action.
An action?
Yes, this!
He manages to land a kick square in the jewels of Horribel.
Why do you kids play so dirty?
Meanwhile, back outside, the castle begins to collapse in on itself as suddenly we hear the sound of trumpet fanfare. The king races onto the stage, followed by Pips and Nina.
Thank goodness the king got so tired of waiting. He and a posse of his men were riding here.
Yes, Pips. As much as I trusted Elliot, my fatherly instincts couldn't take it anymore. So I rounded up my bravest knights and we're venturing forth to find Hornbell. That is, until you and Nina interrupted us.
Your Majesty, with all due respect. Duck!
Everyone ducks for cover, and with a loud boom, the castle is now rubble. Everyone cautiously, slowly, gets to their feet and dusts themselves off.
Is everyone all right?
I'm fine.
Me too.
And me. And someone else here that you definitely want to see. Your kingliness.
He motions to Annabelle, who, overjoyed, rushes into the king's arms and gives him a big hug.
Father! Oh, Father!
Annabelle, my dearest sweet Annabelle, thanks the heavens you're okay.
Yes, I'm fine. But Elliot. Oh goodness, where's Elliot?
I'm sure he'll emerge from the wreckage any moment now. He was right behind us as we rushed out. At least, I hope.
Silence. Everyone gazes hopefully for a sign from Elliot. Nothing. Princess Annabelle is beginning to lose hope. She looks to Smitty, then the king, then back to the rubble.
No. Oh, please no. Don't tell me he was caught in the layer falling apart too. Elliot, please. You're far too sweet and brave and kind to be taken from us all. Please.
Did you see him get out of there?
I lost sight of him in the smoke and confusion.
Maybe Kurt's out of bed and Bert can't see him.
I hope so. Elliot, come on. Show us you're okay. You were kinda a dork, but you're my dork. My friend.
Nina pats Pip's shoulder gently and nods in understanding. All hope seems lost, and everyone sadly begins to lower their heads and back away from the rubble that was Horribel's lair. Soon, though, triumphantly, Elliot limps out from the wreckage. Smitty is the first to spot Elliot, and he does a double take.
Look! Elliot, lad?
The one and only.
Not that it matters now, but how?
The convenient crack in the wall came through in the clutch.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yippee! 3 cheers for Elliot. He's safe.
Hooray! 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 Princess Annabelle goes into Elliot's arms, smothering his face with kisses as she does.
Oh, Elliot! Our hero! My hero!
Aw, shucks.
General celebration occurs as everyone unites. Pips watches Elliot and Annabelle with a somewhat jealous look as Nina flutters over to him. She gazes at Pips, then, with an adoring smile, she taps his shoulder. Pips looks to Nina, and she sweetly kisses him on the cheek, a lingering kiss. When she finishes, Pips, absolutely dazed, gets a grin on his face and he faints onto his back comically. Nina can't help but giggle as she gently goes to revive him. Meanwhile, the king speaks to Elliot.
Elliot, I owe you a tremendous debt. You not only saved my kingdom from the evil magician Hornbell, but you saved my beloved and only daughter, Princess Annabelle, and you united her with me. And for that, my boy, I am prepared to give you any reward you wish to ask for. Just name it, and it shall be yours.
Elliot smiles at Princess Annabelle, who smiles back. Soon, though, he looks over at Smitty, Pips, and Nina. He thinks for a moment, then turns back to the king.
Your Majesty, may I be so bold as to have this request come in 3 parts?
Elliot, you saved my daughter and defeated that horrid wizard. You can have a 30-part request if you like.
I just asked for 3. Ahem. Part 1. I would like Nina to be given the role of official song singer and cheer-upper of the land. No longer should she be booed or have things flung at her for singing.
You give your reward to me just like that?
Just like that.
Done. Nina, dear little bluebird. Consider that your new title.
Oh, wow.
Ahem. Request number 2. Pips the squirrel. I want to see him and his family be given a new tree and put in a new home, a large, mighty oak tree, so that they'll be able to live comfortably forever.
Elliot, buddy, that's so nice of you. I think I have something in my eyes. Oh, ho, Elliot. You're not a dork. You're a pal.
That shall be done as well. I'll make sure of it. And your last request, Elliot?
Will I ask you, sir, to grant my friend Smitty the title of Hero's Assistant, and a pathway for him to become a knight in your kingdom when he grows up, a full ride of training and assistance.
Oh, Elliot.
Me? Elliot, you're giving your reward to me?
Smitty, you've quickly become my dearest friend and confidant. You deserve to have your dreams come true. You helped me so very much throughout this quest, and you worked so hard to become a true hero's assistant. If anyone deserves to be honored, it's you, friend.
Elliot, this is such a wonderful thing that you're doing. Oh gracious. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Hey, that was my gag. Now him. He's still a dork.
Pips. Shh.
Oh, Elliot, my friends, thank you.
Elliot, that was a very selfless thing you've done. Very few young men, I think, would do such a thing. You should be very proud. Very well. I hereby grant your request. From this day forward, young Smitty here now has the title of Hero Assistant.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Those are the three nicest, most selfless, sweetest acts of kindness I've ever seen. Oh, Elliot, is there anything you can't do?
Well, kinda, yeah. There's probably a lot of things I can't do. I can't juggle, and I'm not particularly good at math. I can't stand on my head.
Sweet, adorable, and modest, too.
Oh, I don't know how to speak French. I also can't ride a unicycle, and let's see, what else?
Oh, stop talking and come here, you handsome fool.
She pulls him closer and hugs him lovingly, kissing him on the cheek and forehead several times again, finishing up by kissing him on the lips.
Mwah.
My first kiss. Oh, wowee.
Come, everybody, let us go back to the castle and we can properly celebrate, shall we?
We shall.
With pleasure.
Elliot and Princess Annabelle link hands. Soon, the two gently and sweetly rub noses with one another, then smile, hug, and walk off with the king. Nina smiles at Pips and motions for him to follow her as she does a small ballet leap across the stage and flies a bit. Pips grins and takes a leap as well, though since he cannot fly, he simply splats onto the stage. Nina gasps and goes back to Pips and helps him up. Pips reaches out and kisses her hand several times in a romantic flourish as she giggles and links arms with him, and the two skip off. This leaves Smitty alone on stage. Until suddenly, the mystery girl from throughout the play, who has been trying to talk to Smitty, comes on. She approaches and taps him on the shoulder.
Smitty?
Oh, hello!
Hi.
Wait a second. I recognize you. Gosh, you've been trying to talk to me throughout this whole ordeal? I'm awful sorry. I was busy each time you came on, but I'm finally free to talk now. What's your name?
Patricia.
Golly, that's a pretty name.
Thank you. Smitty, you took the words right out of my mouth. I've been trying to tell you something this whole time.
I'm all ears now. What's up?
Well, I've seen you in the village plenty of times, and oh golly, I just think you're awfully handsome, and I like you. You're just as brave and wonderful as Elliot is.
Aw, shucks. That's slow of you to say. Thanks.
Not only that, but I noticed that Elliot and Pips got themselves a reward, but you didn't, and that's not very fair. I think you really deserve one for how brave you were during all of this.
But, I did get a reward, though. Remember? I finally got the title of Hero's Assistant and a pathway to becoming a knight in service to His Majesty's too.
No, sweetie. I mean, reward. You really don't know what I mean, huh? Well, here, let me show you.
She moves in and, surprisingly, dips Smitty a bit in her arms. Smitty gives her an astonished look as she smiles, leans in, and deeply kisses him on the lips. Smitty's eyes widen in awe, then droop close. His legs and arms shake from the kiss, then comically go limp as it goes on.
Mwah.
Smitty, dazed, faints onto his back, much like Pips did before. Patricia looks at Smitty with a combination of surprise and delight as Elliot and Princess Annabelle come back on.
Come on, Smitty. His Majesty is having a feast back at the castle.
Hello, Elliot, Your Majesty.
Goodness, did we miss something?
You could say that, yeah.
Smitty? What on earth happened?
I just got my reward.
Your hero's assistant title, you mean?
No, my reward.
I'll explain later, girl to girl.
I think I have an idea. Come on, boys. The feast awaits.
The two boys link arms with their respective partners, and the foursome go off happily. Soon, all four are off stage. Ominously, suddenly, Horribel limps onto the stage, his clothes in tatters, his body covered in soot, looking worse for the wear. He manages a weak but evil cackle as he looks around.
I survived! I survived! Yes! Yes! I'll get my revenge. I will be back! Mark my words, I will be back!
Suddenly, we hear the old and memorable Warner Brothers cartoon sound effect of something like, say, an anvil falling to the earth. Horribel looks to his left, his right, at the ground, then up in confusion. When he looks up, he spots what's coming and, whimpering, he looks to the audience and mouths the words, "The big rock." Then,
Uh-oh.
he cringes in preparation and, sure enough, the big rock he launched up into the air earlier comes crashing down onto him with a mighty boom and splat. There is no movement or sound for several moments. Then, from underneath the rock, we can hear,
Never mind. I won't be back. I'm going to move to a safer place after I get up from underneath this rock. Why?
and so our story comes to a close. The end.